This video is going to be the most practical training on niches that I have ever seen. I mean, we are going to start with the end in mind. We're going to review how much each niche is paying for leads and then working our way backwards. So this is a sheet here that you can actually get in the description. It's inside the free course. And what this is this is Home Advisor lead fee schedule. So if you're in home services, you probably know what Home Advisor is. Now, if you're not in home services, that's fine. There's a bunch of niches on here. Let's start with the broad categories and then we'll niche down and talk about the hyper specifics. A lot of the stuff you probably have not heard of. This is a lot of different categories that you can filter through and sort through. And a lot of the stuff I've never seen agencies working in this specific space. These are the common niches, right? So this is what everyone likes to go into. Chiropractors, roofers, pest control, salons, gyms, martial arts studios, and a bunch of other ones. Now, in the beginning, when you're just getting started, honestly, you could work in a couple different industries if you want. The way that I did it was I started locally, and I had a couple different industries. I've worked with like massage places, I've worked with roofer here, and honestly, it's terrible for scale, but in the beginning, it's good because you get to understand different avenues of business, and also you're not so paralyzed by the fact that you have to pick one and stick with it. In the beginning, you have to just get started. You want to pick something that either interests you or something that you have a competitive advantage in. So if your dad was a dentist, pick the niche that you're so familiar with. If you're surrounded by dentists your whole life, maybe you should work with dentists. That's one of the biggest tips that I can have for you. Now, the other one is if you're going to do home services is a huge niche, okay? There's so much stuff that goes into it, and you want to get really narrow and really specific on how it all works, right? So for example, you choose to do AC and cooling systems as your niche. So take a look at this one, right? We have heat pump. So maybe a good niche for you is not just working with AC and cooling companies, but telling them we specialize in getting heat pump installations for AC and cooling companies. Now that's a niche within a niche, and now you can go very, very narrow. We're talking garage build. When's the last time you went on YouTube and learned about an agency that just works with garage builders, right? As you can see here, you can see what they pay. So this number right here, lead fee, this is what they pay Home Advisor per lead. So whether you're doing SMMA and you are actually generating leads for the client, this is good to know for you because you'll know what they're paying for, right? Solar panels for business, $75. So if you can get them a way cheaper lead, it makes perfect sense to go into this space. This is also good to know though, if you're doing some kind of GoHighLevel SaaS or you're doing automations, or even if you're doing web design, because now you can tell the client, hey, how much is one lead worth to you? Oh, it's worth $75. So do you think if we took your website that maybe gets, let's say 100 users every 2 months, and we just helped you get an extra 1 or 2 leads per month, is that going to be worth it for you? When you ask good questions like that, and let's say they're paying $75 a lead or $50 a lead, that means you're getting an opportunity to sell more people. And instead of paying for more leads, you can help them with their conversion rates. If you get an extra 10 phone calls a month, now if you convert one of those, how much money is that? And so now you can really dissect it from the end, meaning you can take a look at what other businesses are paying for leads and base your services off of that. The philosophy that you want to have when you're picking a niche is ready, fire, aim. Meaning just pick one. Or if you want, work with a few. Because even if you pick the wrong one, you're still going to learn so many skills. Don't obsess. Don't watch 10 million different videos on how to pick a niche. Pick one, go deep into it. You already know how to do so much stuff and you'll be that much more ahead. So don't overcomplicate it, dive into one and just get started. Now let's talk about my niche. I work with construction companies, and if you look that up on the sheet, their cost per lead is very high. So you might be thinking, okay, that's amazing. Because if I can just get them cheaper leads, then they're going to love me. But that's not so much the case. The downside in the construction space is that people are spending a lot of money on projects. However, the sales cycle is longer than your typical tree removal, right? You need that done ASAP, right? You're gonna make a decision. That's thousands and thousands of dollars. But if you are doing some kind of construction and it's something you're thinking about, you have to speak to your wife, it's not a necessity, then that sales cycle could be 1 month, it could be 2 months. We're seeing that sometimes clients come back 12 weeks later from a campaign that we ran. And so based off of that, you can also craft your marketing package. So there's certainly no perfect niche out there. Big thing is just to get started and then figure it out as you go.